In this video, I'm just going to go over a bunch of the numeric nodes. These are really short videos on their own, so I thought I'd make just one quick video of all of them. And they're just found under numeric, and they're mainly these guys. So one thing I wanted to note is when I was making these, as you can see, these aren't really lined up very well. Well, LabVIEW has some neat little tools found up in this upper toolbar here that I can actually use to align my objects. So you have these diagrams where I can align them vertically or horizontal, and then based off the center, based off the edges. On the block diagram, it lines up with the label. So there I did an align right edge, but as you can see, this one got all messed up looking. So I'm actually going to go left edge for this scenario. And then I can grab them as a group and I can move them together while they're all highlighted. Same thing can be done with all the nodes. I can highlight the nodes. I can go to my drop down and I can line them up center. Sometimes though, like if these wires are all messed up, you can highlight this whole area and you can hit this little paintbrush looking thing and it says clean up selection. So if you hit this button, it'll kind of auto snap and clean up everything for you. Sometimes this works out well, sometimes this does not, so just be wary of this, especially if you have a really big project and you try to use this. This can definitely mess things up. Same thing with the front panel. We have the similar diagram, line everything up. In this example, I just have my X tied to all of these nodes. So for example, I put a -5. We'll just look at this first block at a time, and I run it. I just get a 5 because that's the absolute value. If I want to put a 25.8 for this round integer value, it's going to round up to 26. Similar with 5.5, it still goes to 26. 25.4, and now we go down. So we'll look at this scale to the power of 2, which is now actually on the bottom, and that happened to be because I hit this auto cleanup, even though I had them in the correct order, but we'll just keep it for this video. So on this node, we actually get an N and an X, so we can change it. So if I was to put the number 1 in here, and we scale it 0, and we hit run, we get a 1. If I change N to a 1, we get a 2. If I change it to 2, we get a 4. Change it to 3, we get an 8. Now 4 is a 16. So if X is 1, it keeps going up by the power of 2. It's really similar to how like binary is counted, if X is 1 in this scenario, but it'll change with your needs. So that is scaling to the power of 2, depending on what your number is. And you can see on the label the little formula that's actually laid out. So square root is pretty self-explanatory. We just put in 36, we get a 6. And then we have our squared node, which is right here. So 7 squared is our 49. Then we have our negate node, which is right here. So any number we put in, we put in 486, it just gives us the negative version of it. Same can be done if you put in a negative number, it'll give you the positive number. So it just switches the sign. We have a reciprocal node, which just takes whatever your X value is, it's just 1 divided by X. So if we put in 5, that's 0.2, because 1 divided by 5 is 0.2. And then we have our sign node. And what this does is it takes in a number and it'll print out either a -1, a 0, or a 1. So it's printing out a 1 because 5 is positive, but I've put in a -2 and I hit run, it's now a -1. And if I run a 0, it's now a 0. So that is the sign node, and these are the only 3 numbers it'll produce. So this is just a quick video of a bunch of these nodes that individually that make an extremely short video. So I just group them together into one, and then once again they're just found under numeric, and they're mainly this 4th row here. So hope this was helpful, and stay tuned for more.